Hello and welcome to Outside In. My name is Steven. Today we're going to be looking at another viewer request. And let's look at that request right now. And that request is from Travis3023. Travis says, great information, and I ordered a Hotkrem particulate monitor as a result through Amazon. However, after many hours indoors, it is regularly showing all PM values as 0 apart from 0.3 and 0.5, which is currently showing as 38 and 28 respectively. So I believe my unit is faulty. Would you agree? I live 180 meters away from a freeway that sees 80,000 cars a day, and 180 meters would be 590.5 feet. So I responded and I was telling Travis that, yeah, that definitely sounds way low. It should be much higher than that on 0.5 and 0.3 micron. It should not be registering all zeros, and 38 is too low for 0.3, so you're right. Your unit is faulty. I am hearing this a lot lately about the Hotkrem, so I am only recommend them now with caution, and that is unfortunate because I really do like the Hotkrem so much, and that is why it's unfortunate. I actually went on to say I would love for someone with a faulty unit to send it to me to see if I could repair it, see what may be wrong with it, and it may be across the board, whatever I could find. And then he wrote back, Travis said after a day or two, the readings made some more sense, but I still don't think it's working properly, such as when cooking, the numbers spike, but some numbers stayed at 0. And he ended with saying, I'm happy to send you my unit. I have sent you an email in this regard. Okay, so that was kind of cool to hear. I had mentioned that a number of times in different comments when people were telling me about the Hotkrem being faulty, to see if I could repair it, and if I could find what was wrong with theirs. It may very well be across the board. There's a couple things that I want to check with Travis's monitor to see if I can find where I think there might be an issue going on, but I won't know until I tear into this. So I just want to say thank you so much, Travis, for sending this to me, because Travis and I started communicating through email, and I got him my address and he shipped it to me. I just got it here the other day. I had a few trips to do, so that's why I wasn't able to get to it right away. But I wrote Travis and he said, Steve, don't worry about it. Take your time, no rush, no hurry. He was glad to hear that I had received it. So without further ado, because I can't think of anything else I need to say, and I'm sure you guys don't want to hear me send it rambling, I wanted to wait for the video to unbox what Travis had sent me. And then I need to mark his with a B, because I do believe that his is identical to mine, so I don't want to get them mixed up. So let's go to the bench right now, and that would be number 2. And here we are. Okay, this is the package that Travis sent me. So let's open it. Like I said, I have not opened this yet. Careful, Steve, not to cut yourself like I have been known to do when I cut a box open. Okay, come on, let's. Oh, he sent a cord with it too. Oh, it's USB-C. His is USB-C. Mine is micro USB. Okay. Yep, and his is identical to mine. So I already asked Travis about that, and he said it was quite okay to do. Now, Travis, if you want to erase, it's very easy to take this off with alcohol. So I am just going to write Travis. So that way I can tell the difference between Travis's monitor and mine. Now, here we are. This is Travis's. And I knew it. I knew I was going to get a phone call right in the middle of a video. Good afternoon. This one here has not been on since Travis unplugged it and shipped it to me. So that's been probably about a week and a half, close to 2 weeks now, since he probably unplugged it and shipped it out, because he shipped it from Australia. I did not want to run mine until I got his, so I could run these together. So I'm going to plug mine in first, and then I'm going to plug in Travis's. All right, let's put them both on where it shows all the particulates. Now his 2.5, 5, and 10 are all zeros. My 2.5 is 10, 5 is 4, 10 is 0. PM25 is 18. This one says 23. PM1 says 11, 12. This one says 15. PM10, 17, and 25. So there is a discrepancy, but not that big of a deal. Well, yeah, the PM, yeah, that's pretty far out. But what I want to do with this, I got myself a little timer. I want to let these run for at least 30 minutes, and then let's see if the numbers catch up to one another and how well they do. Unfortunately, thank you, Travis, for sending me this, but I was hoping that I could get somebody that had all zeros and everywhere. But hopefully whatever's wrong with this one, if I can find something wrong, I'm hoping it's going to be across the board. If what I think might be going on, it will be. Probably more than likely it will be across the board. Everybody who owns a Hotkrem. We will find out. So let me go ahead, let these run. Let's start. All right, now I want to just let these sit and run for 30 minutes to settle into the environment, and then I'll be right back after 30 minutes. Okay, well, it was a little bit more than 30 minutes, but let's look and see. Now, that's saying 117, this is 135, 97 and 72, 121 and 142. So, and now all three of these are reading 0, and 10 is the only one on mine that's reading 2. So, and see here, 0.3 on Travis's is reading 5,000. Mine's reading 11,000, which is about right for 0.3. 0.3 is always going to be real high unless you live in a purified environment, and you do not want to live in a purified environment because that over time will not be good for you. Now the 0.5 is 3,000 and his is 4,000. Now the 1 is 630 and mine is 660. 2.5, 72. People look at these numbers and they're like, well, wait a minute, my 10 is reading 4 and this 10 is reading 172. So there must be something wrong. Well, no, there's not anything wrong. It's that this is reading micrograms per cubic meter and this is reading microns per 0.1 liter volume of air. So that's why the numbers are so much different. So I wish they would have just made all of these micrograms per cubic meter, would have made it much nicer to see and read and make more sense with these numbers. So if anybody knows that there is a chart and where I can get it, because I can't find one. I cannot find a chart for what is good or bad when it comes to microns per 0.1 liter volume of air. Next, what we're going to do is I have somebody wanting to come over now. Just as I start to do a video, then everybody's been calling and my landlord wants to come over and check out my pump and see why it's making so much noise. So it never fails. Every time I start to do a video, then everybody's calling me and wanting to do something. The reason the numbers are a little high in here is I've been doing some work and cleaning and stuff, and that's messing with everything. But I'm going to try to introduce a little more bad air and see how the readings go between these two devices. Now this one here is Travis's and this one's mine. Yeah, because when you're cooking, these are the kind of numbers you should see, especially if you have smoke happening while you're cooking. And he told me his didn't go much over 200, but wow. Yeah, his numbers are shooting up there with mine. And he's still showing zeros down here, which should not be. So I'm hoping there's going to be some kind of a blockage inside the center, but we'll look at that. And his PM10 is almost 500 and mine is saying 134. And 81 and 255. Wow. Maybe something's wrong with mine too. I don't know. Goodness gracious. Let's see, my 0.3 is 15,000. His is not even 10,000. And his 0.5 is 5,000 and mine's half of that almost. PM1, 6, and not almost 9. So these are, well, I would like to have two of these that are actually really good to see. I can't believe there's that much difference between two identical devices. Now my numbers are going higher than his, so maybe I'm right. Just stay away from Hotkrem now, I guess. But we're still going to take this apart. We're going to tear into it and see if I can find anything that might be a common problem. Yeah, his still showing zeros down here, and mine are showing numbers. All right, so let's get into tearing these apart and see what we can find. Okay, see if we can dig into this just a little bit. See, what do we need to get this apart? I'm gonna take this side apart. Get in here and see if we can maybe check the circuit board out. But the main thing I want to do is to take this particle sensor apart and see if there might be something inside that's clogging or interfering with the flow. So plug that. Then all right, let's zoom in a little bit. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. You know, the resistors and capacitors look good. Solder joints look good. And if anybody sees anything I'm missing, call it out in the comments. But all the solder looks good. Let's try to take this apart. So we can take this off slowly so it doesn't rip. So I can put it back on. Oh, this is different. I've taken these apart before, but they have screws in them to get them apart. So let me get my spludger. Okay, the only thing is you got to be really careful taking these apart, because on one side or the other there's a spring in here that will come flying out and you could lose it, because it almost happened to me. This one has three springs in it. 1, 2, and 3. So make sure we put those aside so we can put them back in. Let's take this side off. Okay, there, it's starting to come out. And then I have to be careful again, just in case there's screws on this or springs on this side as well. And there is one spring. So yeah, like I said, if you're going to take yours apart, just make sure because there's little springs on some of these that slide off. The whole thing just slides off, and if you slide it off, because I did it once and my spring went pew, but I finally found it. But yeah, just be careful. All right, well, I'm not seeing what I thought I might. Yeah, this one's made different than others I've taken apart, and all the solder joints look good. Resistors and capacitors look good. This is a fan, so the fan draws in the air and then runs through this little channel over top of this. Looks like this little mirror here, and then there's a laser in here that reads the particles coming through. But it's not clogged. There is nothing in here that's blocking the airflow. But I mean, anybody that has one that's reading nothing but zeros, it is possible, because these are all put together in China. There's things that I've actually taken apart, not these, but there's other things that I've taken apart, and there's tape on stuff that should not be there. So when they're putting it together, sometimes they might forget to remove a piece of tape off of something, and that's what I was hoping I was going to find in here. Now the other thing, I'll just mention it, the other thing that I was expecting to possibly see in here. Now over in China, there's from what I understand anyway, there's a lot of factories that are not very clean. So what I was expecting maybe also to find in here was some bugs that was blocking the flow of air. Or maybe a spider had, crawled up inside of here to make a nest, which would also be blocking the flow of air. Sometimes bugs will find something like this to crawl up inside of to make a home. So if your monitor is reading nothing but zeros, either the sensor is bad or there is something inside of it that's blocking the flow of air. I know that no one wants to hear that there could be bugs in there. That would be kind of freaky to see that. but this is clean inside, so it could just be that this is a bad sensor. Now I gotta remember how to put these springs back in. Yeah, just make sure if you take this apart you put the cover on right. There's the holes for the fan. Okay, so there we go. Alright, so let's just unplug this. And let's see if this will plug in. See if this one worked. Now some people say that some particular sensors won't work in this. The fan's running, but it's not working. Alright, so this sensor won't work with it. Okay, well that's unfortunate. So let's just plug this back in. But then who knows? Sometimes I've taken things apart and put them back together and then they started working. So I don't know. I doubt that's what's going to happen with this one, but you never know, right? You never know. And it's working now, but still all zeros. Let me check and see if the fan's working in this one. Looks like it is. Yeah, it is. It's working. I can hear it. Alright, so let's put this back together. Let's put our sticker on here. I have to keep looking at the monitor to make sure that I'm still in frame. Okay, there's the sticker. Alright, so let's see. Boy, these screws are tiny. Do another comparison with mine and see what the readings are any different. And putting these little plastic screws, you got to be careful that they'd be easily stripped. So okay. All right. Now Travis said if I couldn't fix it to not worry about shipping it back, because I guess I can throw it away just as easily as he can. But Travis, if you do want this back, I'd be happy to ship it back to you. But let's turn it on one more time and let's just see. I mean, if it's close, that's all we really need anyway, right? Close. I like to put all my tools back where I got them. That way I know they're there when I need them the next time. Right? Isn't that what Mom always used to say? Steve, put your toys away so you'll know where they are the next time you want to play with them. Okay, Mom. Alright, let's see. Okay, so here we are. This is let me zoom out just a little bit so we can get better, wider view. Alright, 14, okay, now, okay, the PM 2.5, at first it was exactly the same, and now it's going lower and lower. This one's, now it could be, okay, let me see if I can get one of my flashlights here, and two of my flashlights. Alright, let's see. Okay, well, let's see. Alright, this one says 8, that one says 8 and 9, this one is 5, this one's 5, 8, I see 8. And 11. Oh wow, these are still way off. Look at that. 563 to 1100. 298 to 480. So which one of these is wrong? I don't know. 0 here, and all three of these on mine are 0, except for that one now. All three of these on Travis's is 0, and they seem to be staying there. This one is saying 4. But see, like I said, this number is microns per 0.1 liter volume of air, which is way different than micrograms per cubic meter. So because that's why I'd say this PM10 says 11, this PM10 says 0. PM1 says 6, PM1 on this one says 73, and this one says 22. So that's way off of each other. This is Travis's right here. This is mine. 8 and 8, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. See, these numbers now are staying closer together. So now I don't know what to think about that. Let me cloudy up the air just a little bit in here and see if they still decide to be kosher. All right, let me dirty the air a little bit in here, and let's watch these numbers go up and see if they still want to stay close to each other. Okay, this is starting to go up. 27. This one's still, let's see, now this one's going up. 22, 20, 13, 14, 22, 21. Okay, so it's doing better now than it was before, but still these numbers are way off. It could be a programming error on this. I do not know. This one's saying, now, I mean, I've always had these numbers show up. So far, Travis, on these bottom two, they pretty much stay at 0. This one goes somewhere a little bit. See, this one's saying 51, 40. This one's still saying 0. 130, 160, 7, 9,000, 2,000. So the 0.3 is way off from one another. See, 22, 24, 17, 12, 23, 23. So these numbers are acting better now. Let me see if I can dirty the air just a little bit better. Yeah, see, that's jumped up. Oh my goodness. 40, 55,000. This one's still saying 13, 19, 2,300, 27, 30,000, 4,000. Okay, here we go. That was saying 700. Now it's jumped back down to, what in the world? Because, see, this is supposed to be live data right here. I mean, you can see this better than me switching back and forth, but 137, 93. And then this one will just jump up to 100 or so. 81, 98. 46, 49, 76, 81, 76, 80. So, I mean, these numbers, I believe, are definitely, these numbers here are staying better with this now than it was before I took it apart. But these numbers here are still way off. 3,000, 2,000, see, 28, 38, 600, 700, 89. Now this one went up to 10. These two are still showing 0. I'm showing 4 here and 0. Yeah, these two right here, they don't seem to be doing anything. So I'm going to say either it's a programming issue or there is something wrong with maybe the company that they're dealing with to get their particulate sensors is just a really crappy company and they need to change who they're getting their sensors from. Because you'll get one that works and then a lot of people are getting where they don't work. And once in a while, now usually it's supposed to be the other way around. Once in a while somebody gets a bad one. But here in this situation with Hotkrem, it's almost like once in a while somebody gets one that actually works. So see over 200, not quite 200, not even 200, 108, 147, 236, 180. Yeah, they're kind of all over the place. So now I'm not sure. Now I'm not sure what to think. Somebody's going to say in the comments, well, why didn't you bring in another monitor? Okay, so this is the TemTop 115, and both of the Hotkrems are over 400. Okay, now the TemTop is getting more used to my bad air, I should say. So 240, now those are coming down, and both Hotkrems are over 400. TemTop is 235. Now the TemTop only does PM 2.5, so that's the only thing I can check. And I don't have any other particulate sensors right now. Most of my other monitors are CO2 and formaldehyde, TVOC, and my other ones that do particulates are fake, so I can't even use those in this comparison. Okay, 242. But see, this one here is not real time. These two are real time. So these are starting to come down and this one's starting to go back up again. So this only registers, I don't know how often, but these are real time. That's why these numbers jump around so much. And there's going to be difference from here and here as far as the way it's drawing in at this area. And then this one's drawing in at this area. So the particulate count's going to be different here than it is right here. That's why there's going to be a little bit of difference in these two. But they're staying, I mean, they're pretty close. Actually, they're, I think, a lot closer now than they were before I took it apart. So maybe you might just want to blow inside of one of the crevices in your sensor on a Hotkrem. Just blow in it a few times, maybe to see if that would break anything up. Maybe the fan isn't as powerful as it should be, and it's not. Maybe some fans, yeah, that's one thing you want to test. First thing you want to look at is if your particulates are all showing 0, make sure that you flip this over. You don't have to take it apart, but just make sure, hold the fan up to your ear and you'll hear it running if it's working. Also look at it with a magnifying glass and see if the blades are turning. And then blow in it too to see if it changes, if any of your zeros start showing numbers. If they start showing numbers when you blow into it, then it's a circulation issue and you might want to take your sensor apart and see if there's anything blocking the flow of air. Or it could just be that these fans just aren't powerful enough. See, now this one's still going higher, so, but like I said, the TemTop is not real time. The Hotkrem on this screen is real time. So that's why the numbers are going to be jumping around. Okay, so now this one's better now than it was before. 14,000, but this one's still 37,000. So this one's still way higher than this one. This one's closer, 12,000 and 10,000. 2,300 and 2,400. So those are really close now, more than they were when I first started this video and before I took it apart. So now that I've taken it apart, put it back together, it seems to be working a little bit better, except these are still showing 0. So for some reason it's not picking, and I can tell you right now, there is 5 micron and 10 micron size particulates in here. So as you can see right here. But like I said, remember, this is micrograms per cubic meter on these readings, these 3 readings right here. And all of these readings are micrometer per 0.1 liter volume of air. That's what these numbers are. I wish they would not do that, but that's how they decided to do it. We need these numbers, which is what you find on most every monitor that you buy. Microgram per cubic meter, not microns per 0.1 liter volume of air. So I don't know why they did that, because there's no charts online. And again, I ask anyone who sees this, if you know of where I could get a chart to show what these numbers should be, please tell me, because I cannot find one. And I've searched and searched and searched, and there is no charts I can find that have these readings. 247, 300, 260, 298. 196, 147, 247, 311. Now this one's going back down at below 200. Now this one is drawing air from underneath of it right now. So, and these are drawing air from out here, and this one's drawing air from underneath of here. So this reading is going to be different because of that. But yeah, these numbers here are staying a lot closer to one another now than they were before I took it apart. So I don't know. I guess I can't really think of anything else to try right now. Okay, so, well, there you go. I don't know what else to say. You saw for yourself. I could see the solder joints and everything way better than you could, I know, on that camera. All the solder looked great. None of the resistors or capacitors looked bad. And sometimes it's even hard to tell. I mean, I've had bad capacitors that look brand new. But I mean, everything looked good. Even when I took the sensor itself apart, all the solder joints looked great inside. I didn't find, unfortunately, I thought I was going to find that it was clogged inside somehow and reducing the flow of air. But now I'm just thinking that Hotkrem has really poor quality on the particulate sensors. But I'm just assuming that Hotkrem is dealing with a company that's giving them more bad sensors than good ones. And that's why so many people now are telling me that their Hotkrem doesn't work. Or it works for a few days and then it stops. It goes to all zeros. So there you have it, Travis. I do thank you so much for sending this to me. And I'm looking at the monitors right here. And mine is still showing 23,000 on 0.3 and yours is less than 10,000 on 0.3. So I would say definitely it's the particulate sensor that is bad. All right, I just did a little bit of searching around for that sensor. I think it's a PS5003. And when I did find one, people in the review comments were saying the exact same thing that people are saying about Hotkrem itself. Their sensors work for a little while and then they go to all zeros. Or they get it and they put it into the Hotkrem and it just reads all zeros. So I'm suspecting now it's the sensor itself, the make of the sensor. But you saw that when I plugged in another particulate sensor into the Hotkrem, it did nothing. So unfortunately, I think I'm going to stop promoting Hotkrem. That's unfortunate. Unless you want to take a chance on getting one that works, I would not mess with Hotkrem. So, and that may mean that I'm going to have to stop using them in my videos. So people don't think that that's what they can buy. I don't want to use anything in my videos that I can't recommend. And right now, unfortunately, I'm going to have to say I cannot recommend Hotkrem any longer. I was really hoping I was going to find something wrong with Travis's that would end up being across the board and possibly a fix for all the Hotkrems that are not registering correctly. But I can't find anything. And it's just telling me that poor quality where they're getting their sensors from. So, and that might be why you don't see many Hotkrems anymore. Ever since I did that video on the CO2, which is a great monitor, somebody just told me that they still are unavailable. So I don't know what's going on with Hotkrem. I wish they had a website, but they don't, unfortunately. So anyway, that's it for this video. Thanks again, Travis, for sending this to me. Let me know in the comments or send me an email if you want this back I will be happy to send it to you, send it back to you. I know you told me if I couldn't fix it to just not worry about it. Since the 3 readings are starting to be kosher with mine after I took it apart and put it back together, you might still, but see, the other numbers are still way off. And yeah, I just think these are poor quality sensors that they're putting in these, or the company they're buying them from is a garbage company. So anyway, that's it. That's all I have for this video. If you have any other suggestions for something you'd like to see, please let me know in the comments, and I will do my best to create a video for you. I will end like I always do with every video. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Find somebody that needs to laugh. Make them laugh. Find somebody that needs a reason to go on and give them that reason. God blesses everyone, and I will see you in the next one.